And for color, I could add some of these grapes that will also add sugar and sweetness. Well, first of all, we should never store mushrooms in plastic, but these are honey mushrooms, which are one of the only species that we've been able to find this year. Foraging is an ancient concept. Our culture has moved far away from foraging and is fortunately coming back into it now. I see a trend in foraging that more and more people are finding wild ingredients for home use and in restaurants, and not just for food, but also for medicinal purposes.
And it's just starting to put its buds out, and in another couple of weeks the tree is going to be covered in spikes. Well, even for food or medicine, you would harvest them at the end of the season when the leaves have started to die back. And the reason why I think it's still important today is for a couple of reasons. One is it really helps people connect with where they're living, with the land around them, and helps them connect with their environment and feel that they are part of the living world. And we are so deprived of connection with nature these days. It's a really easy, simple way to do it. It's also a way to get food.
Yeah, the glazed maitake mushroom, and this includes a couple of different foraged elements.
So the taste of the foraging foods was quite unique, just for the simple fact that there's an earthiness and a body to all of it, especially the mushrooms that came out with that nice lemon zest, and I forget what was the tomatoes? Sweet fern, yeah, glazed and sweet fern, and that's something you normally don't see on a menu typically. On restaurants, it's a lot of traditional cooking. So seeing something so unique like that, it's delicious first and foremost, and should be more of this at restaurants.
This, what I have here, is what I got in less than a minute of reaching up directly above me, and if you want to spend 10 to 15 minutes, you can get a significant yield from a single tree. Yeah, it's important to sort of pick through, and you can find some fruits that are overripe, some that are underripe, and we just want to isolate the ones that are useful. So sometimes we forage food to appreciate it and know that that's part of our environment around us, and then sometimes we forage food to eradicate it, and that's also okay. In fact, I would argue it might be even more important.
Yeah, ask another, who said, one of our coordinators sent it out. I can't remember who it is.
Foraging it can be a very zen activity, and for that reason I think foraging can be for everybody.
One of the things about the older field guides is that they have been vetted, people have looked through them, they've figured out what's right, what's wrong.
Oh, I should be watching that, right?
One of the pitfalls is not knowing your plants and not knowing what's edible, what's not edible, what's poisonous, what's not poisonous. So there's a couple of ways of approaching that. One is talk to somebody who knows. Another is to get field guides, published field guides that have been around for a while, not the new ones that have not been written by real people. And I don't worry about picking too many flowers, because the neat thing about these violets is, so this just gives lots of surface area for the vinegar. I sort of just guessed how much it would take to fill it, so I don't want to pack these really tightly, because then there's no room for the vinegar to my jar. And I want to top the cover. I do have a rule: when in doubt, don't. So if you're not sure if it can be eaten, if you're not sure if you can put it in your mouth or put it on your skin or pick it, just don't. There are times when that will really serve you well and keep you from getting sick. There are times when it will keep you from having a useful plant, but that's okay.
It's got, I kind of think of it just as having like a really classic mushroom flavor. It's kind of earthy, it's kind of sweet. That has to do with how dry the weather has been. But honeys grow quickly right after a rain and are typically more of like a golden brown color. There are also foods that we think might not be good for us, which are very healing, and that's a cerebral act to learn and study, and as I said, experiment with all of those, foreign ingredients that are all around us. And I say foreign because I think they've become foreign to our palates. They've become foreign to our restaurants and grocery stores, but they are many of them are very common and have great use. So I'm glad to see that people are coming back to foraging again. That tastes like September.
There's something primal about it that's also delicious. Being able to go and get your own food instead of buying it from a store, buying it, in mass quantities, and then creating something that's delicious and it just fills the soul.
Lebanese lamb meatballs with a truffle salsa fee puree, wild grape syrup, and garnished with salad.
Yeah, and a little bit of sweet in there.
60 pounds of blueberries and 30 pounds of raspberries, 20 pounds of blackberries.
I think it's similar to selecting items on a menu that are local for me, only it's maybe a level up, right? Because like you're using local farmers when you're selecting, when you're getting local items like local tomatoes or pastured proteins from a certain area, and that's great. But foraged is like one step more because that means somebody's like going into the woods and like collecting things that are just growing wild, and it's cool. You know that nothing's been sprayed, nothing's necessarily planned. You might go out to look for chanterelle mushrooms and there aren't any. But so there's it's kind of special when you get a dish with foraged foods. It's like it's the extra effort and it's extra local.